Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Zamfara University students block Funchal Gusau Highway over abduction of classmates. Borno community where Boko Haram beheaded farmers begs government to provide security. Vehicles owners find alternative in compressed natural gas to expensive petroleum motor spirit. And on the foreign scene, 38 students among 41 people killed, 6 abducted, others injured. A militant attack on school in western Uganda. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. Some angry students of the Federal University of Gusau have blocked Gusau, Funchal, Zaria and Sokoto Highway to protest against the abduction of 5 of its classmates at Sabangida community by suspected terrorists on Friday night. The students who came out on Saturday morning in large numbers blocked the road, making motorists stranded. The report.
The protesters said they would not stop until the authorities concerned take measures to secure the freedom of the abducted students and prevent the reoccurrence of the ugly situation in the troubled host community. This is not the first time that students of Fugus will be whisked away by suspected terrorists in the Sabangida community, where some of the students are staying off campus.
Until the government answers them. We all of us who are traveling from Sokoto to Zaria or from Zaria to Sokoto cannot.
It took the intervention of the military who were deployed to the scene of the protests to calm down the students to allow motorists move to their destinations. The Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent Yazid Abubakar said the police have not yet received any information concerning the abduction of the students of the Federal University Gusau. He said that he would find out from the police division in charge of the troubled community. Efforts to reach the management of the Federal University Gusau failed as the Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. Lawal Saad, and the Public Relations Officer were indisposed for comments.
In the meantime, the families of slain farmers in Borno State have called on the government to tackle insecurity in their community after 9 residents were killed by Boko Haram terrorists in Mulai community. The incident, which occurred last Thursday, leaves the community in grief and shock over what happened. Beatrice Kurizi has more.
Mulai community, where the incident happened, is 5 kilometers away from the outskirts of Maiduguri, Borno State capital. The residents are still in shock and grief over the beheaded 9 farmers who went to plow their fields outside the village. One of the survivors, Ali Jidda, who narrowly escaped the onslaught, said the Boko Haram terrorists killed 5 of his friends when they were returning home from their farm after fetching woods.
There were 20 of them armed with guns and machetes. 3 of them took me to a quiet place. One of them wanted to cut my neck. I blocked it with my hand. The other hit me on my head, while the third wanted to hold me still, but I dragged and ran away. I was so lucky to escape.
Another survivor who witnessed the beheading of the farmers said they told him that their actions was to avenge the killing of their fighters by vigilantes and seizures of guns and motorbikes.
They spared my life because I'm an elderly man, and they want me to convey a message to the military that they did this because they killed their members, burnt down their hideouts, and destroyed 4 motorbikes, and that they will continue to kill to their satisfaction. I was at home when one elderly man came and told me my son was among those killed. We went there to retrieve bodies, and he was among them. We are afraid of going to the bush because of what has happened, and farming is our only source of food and income. We really want the government to intervene.
The attack by the terrorists has left sorrow and fear in the community as Mulai residents cannot access their farmlands again unless the government provides security in the territory. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Still on the insecurity, at least 13 people have been killed in a renewed violence in communities of Bariki-Ladi local government area, Plateau State. As attacks and counterattacks continue between herders and farming communities, the latest incident occurred a day after 5 herders were ambushed in Rauru community of the Bariki-Ladi. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, Deputy Superintendent of Police Alabo Alfred, who confirmed the second attack on the community, said he was not aware of the killing of the herders, adding that the casualty figure of the night attack is yet to be ascertained. However, the state chairman of Mieta Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, Nuru Abdullahi, told Daily Trust that 5 herders were waylaid while returning from cattle market in Bukuru town of Jos South local government area of the state. In the meantime, the Plateau State Commissioner of Police Bartolome Onyenka has deployed mobile police force personnel across the troubled local government areas in the state. The commissioner, who was addressing the officers before moving to the field, said the decision became necessary in response to several killings in the state and to bring the perpetrators to justice and restore peace in the state. 7 kidnapped students of University of Jos who regained freedom after spending days in the captivity recount their ordeal to Ado Musa. The victims were released on Thursday after paying ransom to their abductors. The report.
The students outside the university campus were on Monday night abducted from their rooms around Ring Road area of Jos North local government area of the state. The victim said they were reading ahead of the second semester examination scheduled to hold on Tuesday last week when the kidnappers struck and abducted 7 of them, including a female.
We were in our room on the Monday, inside our room reading, and we just heard people struggling in our compound, and we thought as if our compound guys were fighting. We never knew it was kidnappers, and then immediately when the thing happened, they now banged our doors and brought us out and told us to lie down on the floor. They tied our hands at our back, and then most of us weren't having shirts, clothes to put on. That was how they tied us together, 7 of us, and then they took us out of the compound and then shot gunshots like twice, and then that was how they took us from one bush to another, from one place to another. We trekked without slippers or anything, and the following day, which is Tuesday, was supposed to be the day we are going to start exams. We missed.
It was really a bad experience. Actually, that night we trekked more than 5 hours barefooted, none of us having slippers. Trekked through mountains, we trekked through bushes, marching on broken bottles, on thorns, sharp stones, anything your legs step on, broken bottles. Actually, it was really, a bad experience. We were there in the cold, rains will fall on us because we were there in the bush, no shelter, nothing, with our hands tied behind us, and that's how we were there.
The victim said the incident has affected their academic calendar.
Seriously, I missed exams on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and on Thursday. On Thursday that they released us, we came back, and the experience was really bad. I personally, I was thinking of so many things, my exams and everything. I couldn't just get it out of my head.
Sincerely speaking, it has really affected our academy, particularly for this semester, because we are supposed to start exams on Tuesday. So that Tuesday we missed 2 papers, Wednesday also, Thursday also. And even though we are released that Thursday night, but then we are all very weak. We couldn't still go to school on Friday, so we still missed papers on Friday. Actually, as it is now, out of 8 courses, we have already missed 5, which is definitely going to affect our results and everything very, very well.
The students call on security agencies in the state to put more effort in providing security in the area. Adom Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Some Lagos State residents held President Bola Tinubu for signing the Students' Loan Bill into law to assist students from poor background pursue higher education. Other residents asked members of the 10th National Assembly to support the president to rebuild the country and rejuvenate the economy. Abbas Dalibi now reports.
Students and parents are with the Student Loan Act, which they believe will improve the education sector in the country. Ike Anobi Ajibola is a mother who is very glad and very happy with the student loan. It will really help our children. President has taken the right step, and we know him for good action since when he was a governor here in Lagos. We will continue to pray for him so that he will do more to us and our country. Nafisat Suleiman Yetunde is a student, and she said that the bill will improve the education of many vulnerable students.
It will help my fellow students, it will help them put full responsibility in their education aspects, where some of them lose focus in class, some of them don't even come to school regularly because they are finding one way or the other to pay their school fees, to make ends meet in school. So with this loan that this government has approved, most of our students will acquire this loan, use it to settle for school fees, use it to settle for school bills, use it to settle for school payments, and they'll be able to focus more on activities in school, partake in more activities in school, focus on their studies, so they'll be able to achieve the main aim of them coming to school.
She also urged the government to provide more opportunities for students so that they could be able to pay back the loan after their study. Some Lagos residents call on members of the 10th National Assembly to support the president on his effort to make life better for Nigerians. Ismail Ogamboye wants the lawmakers to formulate laws that will help improve agriculture, education, healthcare, and security. Also provide opportunities for teaming youth who are now jobless. We are praying that God will support the members of the 10th National Assembly, as we also urge them to give support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his effort to make life better for all Nigerians. President Tinubu signed the student law bill on Monday, June 12, as part of his election promises. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the operatives of the Ibadan Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have arrested a staff of the Federal Medical Center Idiaba, Abeokuta, Ogun State, and 47 others for alleged involvement in internet fraud. The suspects were arrested on Wednesday, June 14th at Idiaba area of Abeokuta following intelligence on their alleged fraudulent activities. A statement signed by the EFCC spokesman Wilson Ojorin said items recovered from the suspect include 7 exotic vehicles, several mobile phones, laptops, high-end Apple wristwatches, among others. 2 suspected Yahoo boys, Adeneji Samson, Adebayo, and Ayula Olawale Samson, were also arrested same day at Idi-Iba area of Ibadan, Oyo State, by operatives of the EFCC Ibadan Command. The statement said a cybercrime suspect, Andrew Olasunkami, is also arrested by the EFCC. Andrew was arrested at his house on suspicion of involvement of fraudulent activities. A Honda Civic car and mobile phones were recovered from him. The suspect will be charged to court as soon as the investigations are concluded. World Desertification and Drought Day has been marked with calls for investment in equal access to land and associated assets to guarantee a prosperous future for humanity. A sensitization work on tree planting campaign in Abuja also made case for women and girls to be at the forefront of global land restoration and drought resilience efforts. Samuel Newell Samson reports.
The effect of desertification and drought can be the greatest threat to sustainable development, especially in developing countries, but increasingly so in developed nations too. In fact, it is estimated that by 2050, drought may affect over 3/4 of the world's population. Hence, the commitment of the government in order to help stop desertification.
We are mainly focused on in the northern part of the country, and we have so many programs to address desertification in the north and the middle belt of Nigeria, because the desertification is encroaching towards the middle belt, and we have set up programs to address this program, all these challenges and the Great Green Wall, for instance, is one of the programs we have set up to address the problem in the level frontline states mostly affected by desertification.
Over the years, because it's an annual event for us, like we started today, and we continue through the weeks and maybe problem months. And statistically, we've planted over 250 trees in Abuja, and you can really see the whole environment of Abuja is quite green.
The government have been urged to make policies that help stop desertification by granting equal access of land to women just like men.
When there are issues generally, globally, women are marginalized. Women are the worst affected, the worst impacted by issues. We have discriminatory policies against women that denies women access to own the land. So what the government can do basically is to ensure that they review all policies as it relates to women, to ensure that women have equal access as men to own a land.
Due to the inevitable loss of vital land, Africa has spent more than $43 billion on annual food imports, and farmers are losing out on profits. Because of these consequences, it is smaller farmers and households that have suffered the most. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Compressed natural gas, CNG, is now embraced as an alternative to expensive premium motor spirit PMS since the announcement of fuel subsidy removal. It is safer and more cost-effective to manage vehicles using CNG than even PMS. In this report, Trust TV's Bello Musa speaks to automotive engineer who explains the conversion process as well as the eco-friendly nature of the CNG in the vehicles.
Government plans to encourage the conversion of vehicles to using gas has been on for some times, but did not see the light of the day. Former President Muhammadu Buhari had promised Nigerians that auto-gas policy will ensure vehicles plying the roads in the country run on gas. The plan then was to convert 1 million vehicles in the country to run on gas within a year. With fuel price hiked after President Tinubu announced that fuel subsidy is gone, use of CNG as potential replacement of PMS began to reverberate. Dr. Aliyu Usman of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Kaduna Polytechnic, explains some of the conversion process.
If you have the kit available, the kit, one of the kits starting from the tank, and you have the multi-valve, then you have the switch, that is changeover. Then you now go to the engine side, whereby you want it to work with your the injector system. And that is all. These days vehicles, it's even easy to convert it faster comparing to the carburetor engine we are having before.
According to him, key available conversion kit can install in a 4 cars in just a day, emphasizing that training of technicians is key to achieving the auto-gas policy.
We install more than 4 cars a day, include even Hilux and then other small mini vehicles. And then go there, get the fuel, fill it, come back, test run it, and it was okay.
He highlights some of the benefit of using gas in the vehicles.
If you have gas, it consumes your engine will run freely. That kind of sludge or something you are having in the engine before, you will not have it. That sludge, that dirty that is coming from the gas also, from even the silencer. Now, if you are using the gas, it's clear. And the amount of gas you are going to use this time around will be less comparing to the petrol liquid.
So if we can get those type of people and they call us together, let's sit and talk with the engineers, their engineers, then with our own local engineer, because they call us roadside engineers. We agree. But let us sit down and see how can we move this country, Nigeria, forward.
Besides lower operational costs and lower vehicular emissions and reduce in noise pollution, vehicles using compressed natural gas can run on petrol and gas. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Plateau State House of Assembly has accused the Nigerian police of being partisan over the sealing of the 17 local government secretariats in the state. The Assembly made the accusation during a press conference held in Jos, the state capital. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, had on Thursday, through the State Commissioner of Police, Bartolome Onyeka, ordered the closure of the secretariats over leadership crisis at the local government areas between the ruling PDP and the APC in the state. While supporters of the APC applauded the IGP's decision, supporters of the PDP, on the other hand, rejected it.
And the IG's action did not came to us as a surprise because of the trend of events that had happened in the state. It was very clear that the court ruled that the then executive chairman of Lantang North Local Government in person of Ubandoma Laven should be reinstated. And the police commissioner in Plateau State deliberately refused to enforce such judgment. We believe that the police are supposed to protect lives and properties of the citizens and to give proper protection to constituted authority within the state. But what we enjoy in the state is the reversal, in which the police to us, they are, instead of them to be political neutral, but yet they begin to prove otherwise, as if they are partisan.
Kazuna residents want the just inaugurated State Assembly to be proactive and not a rubber stamp to the executive arm. They also want the Assembly to act swiftly in addressing banditry ravaging the state. Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
Many people suggested a prompt action by the government to restore peace in the already devastated areas to ensure that hundreds of people taking refuge in towns across Katsina State return to their communities.
I'm calling on them to work hand in hand with the governor to see that peace again in Katsina State. We, as members of associations, we are ready to give them all the necessary cooperation and sacrifice, particularly to work hand in hand with the security agents towards maintaining peace and stability in Katsina State.
My call to honorable members of the 8th State House of Assembly is to collaborate with executive arms to tackle the existence of banditry affecting some part of the state, and also to justify the confidence reposed in them to formulate policies that will touch the lives of the common man.
We need a State House of Assembly that will be cooperative, will be functional, and will be able to use or to utilize its mandate and the constitutional responsibility vested on them.
These residents want members of the newly inaugurated assembly to use their constitutional powers of oversight function in ensuring checks and balances. Some of the lawmakers, Ali Abu Al-Baba and Yahya Nuhu Mahuta from Katsina and Dandime constituencies, promised to work towards guaranteeing peace and economic emancipation.
We are not rubber-stamped and will never be rubber-stamped. But I want people to know we will never we will never argue in broad daylight with the executive. We'll never do that. We'll do it, but they will never see it with their own naked eyes. We are honorable members.
What we intend, what we promise during our campaigns is to take care of lives and properties, protecting these lives and properties of our people. We also promise and hope to work hand in hand with the executive governor, executive arm of the government, in order to meet these promises to deliver the goal, inshallah.
Political commentators believed there will be a paradigm shift from what was obtained in the past, as the just inaugurated State Assembly in Katsina State comprises of members who are well educated and at their youthful age. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You are watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming off after the break, we take a glimpse of Anioma marital rights. For details of these and more after the break, do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Zamfara University students block Funchua-Gusau Highway over abduction of classmates. And Borno community where Boko Haram beheaded farmers begs government to provide security. Now moving on to other news. Get-rich-quick syndrome is a malady that leads a victim to self-inflicted bankruptcy and regrets, yet many indulge in it. Daily Trust in this investigative report estimates that over 900 billion naira is lost to Ponzi schemes and other related frauds. Take a look.
Unemployment and the thirst for easy money has made many Nigerians easy target for Ponzi schemes. In many cases, victims of these schemes hand over their life savings. Nigeria's Deposit Insurance Corporation says the country has lost over 900 billion naira to various Ponzi schemes and other related frauds in the last 23 years. Francis Essien is one of such victims who was lured and defrauded through an employment scam. SCN, who wants to remain anonymous, had travelled from Kaduna to Badagry in Lagos State after selling his car to pay for a slot within a company he identified as QNet.
It's called QNet. They have over 500 youths in that place. So when they took me the presentation, I now found out it was networking. They started drawing a graph that I will bring 2 people from there, they will display people from there, I start collecting money.
SCN was lured by his friend, an alleged agent of QNet, who offered him a job with a non-governmental organization that would pay him a weekly fee of $225 when he pays 530,000 naira for registration.
This thing is modern slavery. They will deceive you that you pay that money, you start earning money. There is nothing like that. There is no product we are selling. For instance, now, you pay 600,000 naira now. You have to bring 2 people under you. Those 2 people now will not display two people under them before they can give you $50. If the system doesn't grow, it will stagnant, they will not pay you.
What SCN describes is a pyramid scheme formula where investors are promised high returns on investment by recruiting more and more people at the bottom of the ladder. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission describes such schemes as Ponzi, which the Commission told Trust TV it was investigating on a case-by-case basis because it is difficult to track their number in Nigeria. But the company in the middle of this controversy, QNet or Quest International, which is said to be a multinational direct selling company and a subsidiary of Key Group, is owned by Vijay Eswaran, a Malaysian. Though QNet denies that the company or any of its representatives is into employment scam, it insists that it is a direct selling company that provides opportunities for people to earn money by selling products. The company's regional general manager for Sub-Saharan Africa, Biram Fall, spoke to Trust TV on the allegations.
Tolerance policy towards any fraudulent activity, including the misrepresentation of QNet products or services. We maintain that these individuals posing as QNet representatives, offering employment opportunities in exchange for payment to the public on behalf of QNet, are not in any way QNet representatives.
QNet has faced a series of fraud and money laundering litigation in some countries, including Iran and India, where its activities were tagged as potential threat to national security. In Nigeria, about 100 of QNet's representatives were arrested in Gombe State in January 2022 for alleged fraud and Ponzi-related offences. Incidentally, the company's detail did not appear on the Corporate Affairs Registry. Those with similar names that did not appear as a multinational direct selling companies. Nigeria's law makes it illegal for any company to operate in the country without registration. Umar Yakubu, the executive director of Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch, says companies linked to Ponzi schemes usually commit multiple offences.
One, you're operating without license, you are not licensed to operate. 2, you are swindling people. Then 3, you are not paying tax. And there are so many other predicate offenses. If you go deeper, you find that they are laundering money.
To understand how agents of QNet operate, I went undercover through Suleiman, another victim of the scam, who linked me with Belkisu Zakari, an alleged QNet staff, a lady he met at the training facility in Badagry. Bilkisu Zakari, who claimed to work for an international company that produces jewelries, health and wellness products in partnership with CAF in Manchester City, told me that the company had a vacancy which could be offered to me. Few days later, she reached out to confirm that the offer had been secured and insist I pay 600,000 naira, which would be used to open an international account, process my international passport, as well as cater for my feeding and accommodation during training at Badagry. When pressed for evidence of the job, she sent an offer letter bearing Quest International within 24 hours. Bilkisu Zakari subsequently deleted the letter when I couldn't raise the 600,000 naira she demanded. But QNet, which entered into a partnership with TransBlue, a customer service and logistics company in April 2022, denies that agents like Bilkisu Zakari are staff of the company and issued a disclaimer associating the company from such activities. But there are several companies taking advantage of Nigeria's low entry barriers with business regulation and high unemployment rates.
First, they look at, I told you, countries with low entry barriers where people can come and do business and leave. And of course, they will target low income and middle income countries where there are no jobs. People are looking for jobs to do. So it's easier for people to fall prey to such things.
To curtail this menace, the National Assembly in March passed the 2023 Security and Investment Bill. The bill, when passed into law, prohibits the promotion of pyramid, Ponzi, and other illegal investment schemes. It also prescribes a jail term of not less than 10 years for promoters of such schemes. Isa Ismaila, Trust TV.
The Rivers State Police Command has neutralized 3 kidnapped suspects in the Imoha local government area of the state. The Commissioner of Police, Polycarp Emeka Nwoyi, confirmed the incident during a press conference on Saturday. Ngoye said operatives of the intelligence unit led by their commander CSP Adamu Ahmadu stormed the suspected kidnappers' hideout at the Isiodu Forest in Imoha local government area of the state on Friday. A gun battle between the suspect and the operatives left 3 of the suspects fatally injured. The suspects were rushed to the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital where they were confirmed dead. 2 AK-47 rifles and 8 magazines fully loaded with 70 rounds of live ammunition were recovered. 10 cartridges were also recovered from them. Police authorities in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, say they have apprehended a crime syndicate fingered as the masterminds of heinous crimes in the ancient city. Briefing journalists at the force headquarters, Eleyele Public Relations Officer Wale Osifosu said that the command will not rest on its oars in ensuring that Oyo State does not become a playground to hoodlums and sinister-minded individuals. The report.
It is another major success story in the fight against crimes and criminality in Oyo State. Police authorities here say they have paraded a dangerous syndicate responsible for heinous crimes across the state.
This same group invaded Akpa Tuku Onireke at Akubo area in Ibadan and robbed residents of their valuables, some of which have been displayed there. The assailants killed one Makonjo Olagudingbi, male, and raped his 2 daughters, aged 14 and 10, during the incident. They will be charged to court upon completion of the investigation, and of course, updates will be provided accordingly.
A total of 19 suspects were paraded before newsmen at the force headquarters. The syndicate had raided a community in the Olorunda Akobu area, killing a victim and raping his 2 underage daughters.
I'm not the one that shoot the person, but unfortunately, the person died. And one of our gang leader that killed that person at that spot, the area security, they killed him too.
Items recovered from the suspects include locally made guns, ammunitions, jewelries, assorted charms, substance suspected to be Indian hemp, and phones. The police assured the residents of determination to rid the state of crime.
The command would like to intimate residents and the general public that adequate preparations have been in place towards the success of the annual Egungun Festival. As we know it, the festival is usually characterized by lots of aesthetics, fanfare, and rich cultural displays embedded in pomp and pageantry.
The police also warned motorists against breaking traffic rules, assuring residents that adequate measures had been in place to forestall any unpleasant occurrence.
4 persons lost their lives to an auto crash on the Ibadan-Oyo Expressway on Saturday. Many others were injured in the bus involved in the accident as it somersaulted several times. Unit Commander of the FRC at Atiba, Oyo State, DCC Bayode Olubesen, blamed the accident on overspeeding and overloading. Olubesen said the 14-seater bus was carrying 20 persons when the accident occurred. He said the corpses of the dead had been deposited at the mortuary of the State Hospital, Oyo State. Olubesen appealed to road users to be careful while driving and to avoid overspeeding, overloading, as well as night travels. Similarly, 3 persons were confirmed dead and 2 others injured on Saturday in an accident involving a rail car and a Sino-truck on the Abeokuta-Shagamu Expressway in Ogun State. Babatunde Akimbe, the spokesperson of Ogun Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps, TRES, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Abeokuta. Akimbe explained that the accident occurred at 9:44 a.m. and was caused by excessive speed and loss of control on the part of the rail car driver. He said that the accident occurred near the Waterman College and involved a black rail car marked AKD 827DV and a white Sino-truck with registration number WDL466XA. Akimbe added that the injured victims were evacuated to AJA General Hospital in Abeokuta for treatment, and while the deceased are deposited at the hospital morgue. Some of the leading causes of maternal newborn mortality in Nigeria are ignorance and no or late antenatal care for pregnant women. This was revealed in Asaba at the Social Mobilization Committee meeting for the forthcoming Maternal Newborn Health Week in Delta State by the Permanent Secretary at Delta State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Winful Oreka. The meeting among stakeholders aims to mobilize citizens to take advantage of the 1-week free medical service by the government through primary healthcare centers.
It's done twice a year where we actually integrate all our primary care programs to target groups in our various communities: the mothers, the pregnant women, children below 5 years of age, even girls, adolescent girls, pregnant women. So all these groups in the community are taken into consideration with various programs taken to them, various services taken to them to ensure they are healthy.
We expect that when the woman is pregnant, enough nutrition should not be compromised at all. When the child is put to bed, exclusive breastfeeding is emphasized up to 6 months of age, and after we should continue breastfeeding up to 2 years and beyond. If these ones are compromised, the child becomes malnourished and the child will come out either stunting, wasting, or underweight.
We provide them at the primary care level, and so it's one more opportunity for those who most especially we call the at-risk people, women and children, and that's why you have the program tagged Maternal Newborn Child Health Week. But we also open up, expanding the program to embrace other programs so that every member of a family can benefit.
To the Anyoma tribe of Delta State, like most Nigerian tribes, marriage is more than just the union of two individuals. It is the union of families and their ancestors. Jonathan Awunye tells us more on the traditional marriage rites of the Anyoma people.
Traditional marriage among the Anyoma people of Delta State is held at a very high esteem and considered as one of the highest honor a child could possibly give to his or her parents. Every parent looks forward to a blissful, happy and rewarding married life for their children, especially so, as marriage is a socio-cultural responsibility expected of every young adult and a veritable tool in laying foundation of our strong families for a stable society. In Anyoma, any lady upon readiness for marriage is expected to formally introduce her suitor to her parents. Thereafter, a date is fixed for Ikwaka, also known as introduction, which particularly provides a platform both families exchange knowledge, thus tend to become familiar with them or just plant the idea within them that a marriage may soon take place.
A bottle of hot drink, cola nuts, and palm wine to come and inquire about the girl. The second one, which is the official introduction, also require just one bottle of whiskey, 1 crate of drink, and of course palm wine, depending on your capacity as a man. Then the third one that involves the larger family will not be more than 10 crates of drinks. And the traditional marriage again will not be more than 10 crates of drinks and food.
After the Ikwaka, marriage expectation become very high, but what happens is that a list containing the necessary requirements, such as a particular sum of amount for the eguisi and dowry, is issued to the groom. There is, however, no fixed amount as bride price. In the process of Ibuego, traditional marriage, the bride price is debated and accepted. It ranges between 50 naira and 100,000 naira, depending on families involved.
A gin, which is called kai kai, then cola nuts, then you support it with some amount of money, which you call the wujin or the cola nut in my area. Then they will not tell you, we are not selling our daughter, but this is what we need from you as an amount you will pay.
The process of a bride price is simple, where the man will ask the guy, how much do you have? I'm not selling my daughter, I am giving her to you for marriage purposes, which is, of course, to bear grandchildren for both families.
Items for traditional marriage includes cola nuts, palm wine in gallons, jerry can, bottles of hot drinks, tubers of yam, cartons of assorted drinks, soft drinks and beer, tobacco snuff and cash.
As part of efforts to enhance a cordial working relationship and improve productivity, female staff of Media Trust Group held a one-day bonding activity. The event offered an opportunity to unwind outside work environment. Aisha Serena tells us more.
All work and no play, they say, makes Jack a dull boy. It is against this backdrop that the female staff of Media Trust Group meets for this bonding activity. The Media Trust Group General Manager, Human Resources and Management Services, Hadiza Bala, said the event is to create an avenue for the female staff at all levels to relax and relate with each other so as to have a better understanding and foster harmonious working relationship.
We should be doing more of this gathering as the ladies of this company bond better, get to know each other better, support each other better, and so on and so forth. So what started like a small idea in a small room has actually transformed into something I would say that is looking bigger now. Because for the board of directors of the company to, more or less like stamp their approval in us having this quarterly gathering, I would say it has grown from a small idea into something bigger.
The maiden event had discussions on the importance of mental health, health tips, and a poem for women.
When you are healthy mentally, it helps you to handle stress better because stress is something that we will be faced with at one point or the other in our lives.
It is very much needed that we take care of our health in order for us to deliver better in our jobs, right? So it's the simplest things, the easiest things that we are very familiar with already, but perhaps we're not paying much attention to them, right? So this is just like a reminder.
So a superwoman, which we are, your wealth is not in the things you do. Your wealth lies in your care and empathy. You go beyond your limitations in life. You are so strong from within. You sacrifice for that one smile. Let me smile.
Participants say the meeting provides room to relate with each other outside work, and it will go a long way to help improve working relationship with colleagues. Other activities marking the event include board games and dancing competition. Aisha Sardauna, Trust TV News, Abuja.
That was wonderful. Now you are watching News Hour on Trust TV. We will be back after this short break. Do stay with us.
There's a mountain in Billiri town that truly reflects a lost civilization. Discover the lost story of ancient humans and the existence of giants whose stories have long been forgotten.
They are giants, and because they are giants, it is possible that they did this work.
Could this be proof that giants lived long before now?
These columnar joints formed long before even human existence scientifically.
And did they leave a mark to show their existence?
It is beyond human beings' formation.
Don't miss out as we explore the mystery rock shrouded in tales of ancient lore and lost civilization.
Welcome back. Now let's join Chiamaka Onwafo for business news.
The cost of shipping oil from Nigeria surged the most in more than a year at the end of a week in which some ship owners were said to be staying away from Africa's largest oil producer. Freight for ships hauling about 1 million barrels of crude oil from Nigeria to Europe jumped almost $16,000 a day on Friday, the biggest gain since April 2022. It rose to just over $64,000 a day, data from the Baltic Exchange show. This week, some businesses received demands from Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, according to a member noticed by industry group Intertanko, seen by Bloomberg. They cover the period from 2010 to 2019 and range in amount from $400,000 to $1.1 million per vessel. In aggregate, some claims reach tens of millions of dollars. Ships staying away from Nigeria makes it easier for those owners still willing to go to get higher rates for their vessels. The value of Nigeria's export to other countries is expected to hit $127 billion by 2030, a new report has projected. The report, titled Future of Trade by Standard Chartered, a global bank, said the country's exports will grow annually by an average rate of 9.5% between 2021 and 2030. According to the report, this growth will be driven by activities in agriculture of 4%, metals and minerals at 94%, especially with the advent of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The report said that by 2030, exports will constitute 20% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Last year, Africa's biggest economy recorded a trade surplus of 1.2 trillion naira compared to a deficit of 1.94 trillion naira in 2021 as the cost of exporting commodities exceeded the value of its import. And finally, in stocks, the market opened for 4 trading days this week as the federal government of Nigeria declared Monday, 12th June 2023 as public holiday to commemorate the Democracy Day. A total turnover of 4.276 billion shares worth 62.176 billion naira in 44,344 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart, while the oil and gas industry followed in second place, with consumer goods industry in third place. The NGX All Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 5.59% to close the week at 59,000.96 and 32.126 trillion naira respectively. 77 equities appreciated in price during the week, 24 depreciated in price, while 55 equities remained unchanged. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Abiodun Adejola, has been elected chairperson of the International Labour Organization's ILO governing body. In his speech after the election, Adejola said he will ensure that President Bola Tinubu's policies that affect workers and employers are aligned with the global best practices. A diplomat for many years, Adejola has been Nigeria's permanent representative to the UN in Geneva since February 2021. Taking over from Tijani Muhammad Bandi, Adejola joined Nigeria's Foreign Service on October 11, 1993. He holds a bachelor's and master's degree in international relations. He has also participated in certificate courses in diplomacy and international relations at the Foreign Service Academy, Lagos, and at the UN in New York. Adejola's tenure as ILO board chairperson will end in June 2024. Now, away from Nigeria, militants linked to the Islamic State group massacred at least 41 people, mostly students, in western Uganda. Officials said Saturday's attack is the deadliest in over a decade. Military said it was pursuing the attackers from the Allied Democratic Forces ADF, who also abducted 6 people during a raid on a school late Friday before fleeing back towards the Democratic Republic of Congo. Officials and witnesses said guns and knives were used in a grisly late-night assault and dormitories set ablaze at Hubreha Secondary School in Mpondwe. Sylvester Mapuzi, the town council mayor of Mpondwe, Hubreha, where the attack occurred, said 39 students were killed at the school. Many of the deceased were burnt beyond recognition, while other students were still unaccounted for. Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF spokesman Felix Kolele said the 6 kidnapped were taken towards Virunga National Park, a vast expanse which straddles the border. Now let's join Adejele Ajeshafe for sports news.
Nigerian female Yellow Greens got their pound of flesh, defeating top-ranked Uganda team by 3 wickets at Gahanga Cricket Pitch in Kigali, Rwanda. Uganda top stable with 14 points. Rwanda 10 points by 0.442 net runs rate, NRR, while Nigeria has 10 points with 0.019 net runs rate. Former Nigerian national team captain and Nigeria Cricket Federation board member Endurance Ofem said Nigeria's performance showed improvement in cricket. Rachel Sampson won the Player of the Match award for taking 3 wickets, while Salome Sunday and Lucky Pity played 25 runs each to contribute to Nigeria's victory 76/7 against Uganda 72/9. And in football, Super Eagles defender William Troost-Ekong has urged African soccer ruling body CAF to follow other continental football bodies by scrapping the away goal rule and playoffs. Nigeria missed out on the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar due to away goal rule and playoffs against Ghana. The Watford defender said Africa is the only continent where such rules are still applicable. Nigeria will not be part of West African Football Union WAFUB Under-20 men's tournament when it commences in July. Nigeria Football Federation General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi said Flying Eagles player who just returned from the World Cup need to rest. WAFU had drawn Nigeria alongside Benin Republic and Togo in Group B. Togo and Benin Republic, respective of the result after their Group B encounter, will qualify for the semi-final of the competition. WAFU tournament will not serve as qualifier for any competition. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.